Hello everyone, this is Debbie and welcome to my channel Ridiculous Goodness, and today we're doing the weekly guidance reading for December 26th through January 1st, and I'm using two card decks. One is the Paulina Tarot and the other one is the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And as usual, I'll pick 3 cards from the tarot deck that I'm using today, and 1 card from the Archangel Oracle deck. Alright, so just see what we have here. It's like there's already 1 card that I saw earlier, but I just kept shuffling. It kind of jumped out, but I'll go through all the cards first. It's the 7 of Wands is the first card. And then we have the 5 of Swords. Then the 7 of Swords. And then we have Compassion, Archangel Zadkiel. Okay, so we'll just start with the 7 of Wands. And you can see that, you know, she's kind of battle ready, and she has a shield, and there's arrows, you know, down here, and just seems to be covering up, you know, she has a, if you want to look at it this way, like there's, her chakras are, you know, protected, the crown chakra and her, you know, solar plexus and root chakra and heart chakra and all those, just, they're all being protected, and that's, you know, we always need to, just shield our energy and know that somehow it's being done, or we can just imagine a shield of white light around us, and know that we're always protected no matter what. But you know, you can just imagine, your imagination is your friend, and you can it does matter in a big way. So just imagining that that you're safe, and you know that, you know, thinking positively when you can, even, you know, sometimes you just get intrusive thoughts and they're there, but you can then, after those come through, you can then put a counter thought and say, no, like, you know, like, no, things will go well if I keep going, something like that, you know, counter thought to whatever negative thought is coming up, or, you know, unhelpful thought. And so, I mean, we're not, it's always like not feeling like you're in danger, but just realizing what's going on around you, and to just, you still have to be aware, I mean, like I said, so just, you know, it's not like going overboard, but just regular things that become a routine over time, or just knowing when to do it, and it'll just come up and you're like, oh, okay, I'll just imagine a shield of white light just because, you know, I just want to make sure, because I'm going in a crowd of people, and I want to just not carry through, you know, your aura is like hitting other people's auras as you're walking through, and it just happens, and it's just, you need to just clear it out, and just keep doing that, and it'll just become, like I said, routine. So you just do that, and it will just, you know, do what you just basically basic maintenance of, what you need to do. Or, if there's another example, just, it just be prayer instead of, and, words that you think or you've said out loud, still matter as well. And I'm sure there's other ways, but, these are just a couple of ways to do that. And it is just something just to do that can help in your situation. And we have the Five of Swords, and since, everything, all the swords here are behind her, I just feel like it's in the past. It's not like there isn't things that are bothering us right now, but there's so much that has gone on in our life, and I just feel like, there's like memories of things that come up, and, that you're having to go through them all, things that have happened in your childhood or, earlier in your life, just trying to go through all the things that you have experienced so far, kind of like a life review, trying to just see what you've learned. And of course there's some painful things, but it's still important to go through it and be strong about that. And when you need to talk to somebody, that you can do that. Or, once again, just using your imagination, you can imagine talking to somebody you trust. Maybe you can't get to them right now. Just imagine talking to them, and you'll start to feel like you're having a conversation, and it'll actually make you feel better if you just, once again, use your imagination to try to deal with your feelings, what you're going through, because sometimes you can't get to a person, or you just don't feel like you can talk to them at the moment, and face to face, or whatever reason it could be. Just using your imagination is such a powerful tool. That's funny. I'd have fun with words and just pronounce them in ways that they're just a lot of fun. But it's important to just deal with, these emotions. There's nothing wrong with feeling down about something, or just feeling like you need to cry. Those are all normal things, and we need to not push them to the side or think that they're wrong, because we need to express our humanity and be who we are, and to be able to deal with our emotions in a healthy way. And those ways that are accessible to you, and if you need to do more research, then you can just look up different ways to what has worked for other people. And it's just important to be there for yourself, and your imagination is your friend, and just anything that or if you need something that's actually like right in front of you and you can do that, then that's also valid. But just if another option, as always, there's always different options. There's never without a solution, even if it seems like it's not coming right away, or you try so many things to try to deal with things in a healthy way. You just have to keep going and know that the solution that you're wanting, whether it's a person to actually talk to, because maybe you're just tired of not having someone to actually talk to you and care about you, those people will come as you keep going through your life, and it will happen. And if you feel like the need to talk to somebody and you haven't even begun to do so, and you feel like you don't have any good qualities that they would want to actually talk to you, maybe try to. I mean, the worst thing they can say is like, no, I don't want to talk to you. But really, the most likely, if you have a good feeling, you feel like you can be comfortable around a person to talk to them, then they will most likely want to talk to you actually, and you'll be right on, and you'll be happy that you decided to talk to them. instead of thinking that you weren't worthy of talking to them. Especially when you're doing something as pure-hearted as trying to help yourself and you want to get to know that person, you want to talk to them about very important things. There's nothing wrong with that, and having people like that is something that we all deserve. So just please remember that. And so we have the Seven of Swords, and of course the first thing you notice is the yellow, and it's like a highlighter yellow almost, and it's mostly to do with just in this case he's like stealing swords away, but I just feel like yellow is just like the color that we need to look out for in our daily lives, whether it's flowers or cars or something like that. It's just an important color in our lives. I think that it's just a sign that it may be for some of us. I know it is for me, and so that's why I mention it. And so I also see that, of course there's like opposition to this, and I think it's like in this case the person stealing the swords, and in this case it's not really a good or bad, it's not black and white in this situation. That they're just people with different opinions and they want different things, and there's some things that people need actually, and others are not willing to give, but you of course don't try to actually steal something from somebody, but you'll have to be responsible for yourself the way that you can be by making decisions on what's best for you and what's overall. Well, it's really just making the best decision for you, but not being selfish and taking away from people that actually need those things. So it's basically, and everyone's situation is going to be different, so to put an example to it would be very difficult. Because if something comes up, then I'll mention it, but to just read the energy, you're not always going to have the right and wrong answer. Sometimes you just need to do your best through your life and take steps. If you see a way that's going to hurt somebody, and we all see these layers to things, and some people don't listen to it, and they do end up hurting people by saying something really bad, or just really just not being sensitive to other people, what they have to say and everything. And that's kind of funny because we have the Passion card, so we'll get to that even more in a moment. But just realizing that you're not the only one that has problems, and you need to help others and not be bitter that things didn't go well, and or if you didn't get the help that you needed, it's not going to always be that way. But if you continually try to take advantage of people, there is karma can be a tricky thing, but I do believe in a lot of ways it exists. And maybe it's not about thinking, oh yeah, that person's going to get it. It's about having personal responsibility. And I know in certain situations, people don't always seem like they ever get in trouble for what they have done wrong, and they can really hurt people, and they have never gotten, the person that got hurt and all the people that have gotten hurt, and they haven't got justice for it, and it's unfortunate, but you have to realize that, you just only can do your best. If you can take action that actually feels natural, that is right for you, then yes, do that. But for the most part, you have to just do your best in your own life. Move on from those heartaches and do the best in your life to be the best person you can be into those in your life and to yourself, instead of being bitter about why you never gotten what you wanted. Life can be really unfair. And I'm not going to say, oh, that's just the way it is and your problems don't matter, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, of course they matter, but you can't just sit there and cry all day about it. You need time to do that, but you need to find a way to find ways to take action, because life is unfair, but there is ways to make it things in your life happen. And there's times in your life it doesn't seem like it, you truly don't feel like there's any solution, but you keep on going, and then you do find ways to keep going, and you keep finding ways to keep going once again, and then you find more solutions to bigger problems that make things a whole lot better. You just have to keep going. It's about never giving up and never becoming bitter about things. I mean, even if you feel it for a moment, okay, but you move on from it in a way that is healthy. Maybe you still feel it somewhere, but is that, just think about what you really feel. And then even if you have to deal with that feeling, you have to keep going. You have to try to be the best person you can be by taking actions that won't hurt others. If you see that it might hurt somebody, don't take that action. And unless it's just like you don't, like if you're in a relationship with somebody, or someone who wants to be in a relationship with you, and you decide, no, I don't think that's the best thing, or at least not now, maybe in the future, I want you to make your decisions, and I want you to live a good life. So I will not be with you because I need you. Well, it's really about you needing to take on the responsibility you need to do without me to distract you, even though I would be a good influence on your life. But it's kind of like a situation where you want the person to do, you want them to take control of their lives because you know they can. They don't need your help, and you want them to do it themselves. Not because you wouldn't help them or you don't want to help them, but they need to help themselves first. And so you make the wisest decision to wait, or even in some circumstances you just say, no, I won't be in your life anymore because I need it for both of us, like, to find our own ways, our own path. And so that's only one way. It can be just using your discernment to know what's best, and to not think you know best for someone else, and to appreciate the choices they have made, but also appreciate the fact that you don't need to always be in their lives right at that moment or help them with that thing, that they can do that on their own. But there's also people that do need help, and that you can help them. So it just depends on what the situation is. So not becoming bitter, and yet not coddling somebody, and not letting them make their own choices, and see how ready they are to take control of their own lives. So there's lots more to say about that, but it'll come through when it needs to. There's so much. I don't mind these videos being long, but I understand that it's hard to watch them all, because I'm sure it can be enjoyable too, but it does take time. But I need to get the message out, so if it needs to come out, then it'll take as long as it needs to. And just like the overall feeling, compassion, the compassion to yourself, compassion to others. And the card says, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So it's Archangel Zadkiel. And, he just shining with yellow golden light as well. And it's a very much brighter, holier yellow than, this yellow, but it's still something to pay attention to. And just like I'm saying, the holy light, and your hands, are so healing, and you just can place them over your heart, or on top of your head, on your shoulders, and imagine the energy flowing through. And if other people have accepted, if you say, I leave, if you want to help others by leaving healing for them, but just say, I leave this healing energy at their feet, and if they want to accept it, it'll be there for them. Because sometimes, people should, they should always have the right to say yes or no to getting healing. Maybe they don't want that, or maybe, it just depends energetically, if they accept it or not, or even if just to have their consent, because some people probably wouldn't always agree with that, and that's fine. No one has to agree with each other as long as they respect each other's decisions and opinions, as long as they're not trying to hurt anybody else. But even then, there's sometimes you can do something, but other times you need to back off and let them be. You can't always do everything that you think that you should in life. Sometimes you need to see that people have their decisions to make and they have their own lives to live. And, also knowing that even if somebody seems like, if somebody's like not really taking care of themselves so much, they don't eat well, or they, smoke or something like that. If you have a problem with that, then, but that's your feeling on it, and you can say, if they are a good friend or, family, you can say how you feel, but sometimes people just need a listening ear, and they don't want your advice because maybe they already know that it's not right for them, but they're not ready to stop yet. And they just need something right now, and you can just be a good example for them instead, and just live your life and be the best person you can be. But don't do it just to show off and to say, yes, I'm an example for them. It's like, but some people are just not gonna want to hear what you have to say, or not care what you're doing, in the sense that they don't need that from you. They just need you to be their friend and not feel like you're better than them, because they already have enough people in their lives that, tell them that they're not good enough, or that, they don't deserve better. They just need someone to understand them and accept them instead of judging them. So compassion is so important, and feeling that in your heart, and taking a deep breath and just saying, okay, I can let people live their lives even if I don't agree with it. And I would like that for myself too. That's, how we would usually feel. Like, yeah, I want that for myself. I want people to just understand me and know that I'm doing the best I can. And I do good things, but you don't always see that. And, people can feel that way. They're like, I do good things in my life, but you're not there to witness it. I'm not doing it for you. I'm just doing it without any thought at all. I just do it because I want to. And even then, it's more like it just happens, and I'm happy that it happened, but I didn't plan it. And that's how it should be, because if you're just, you can plan things, good things for other people, but, it should come from the heart, and, it's just radiating so much love and pure, holy energy, just, there's so much here in this card, just the colors, and if you can't really see a face very well, or their face very well, but it's just a very calm and soothing card. So it's just important that we exude the energy ourselves without trying to be something. Do things from your heart, and don't feel like you have to, it doesn't mean you don't deserve recognition for the good things you do, but do things not because you expect something in return, but because you really do want to do that. And if you keep doing good things for others, is a particular person, they don't ever repay you, and they are ungrateful for it, then you don't need to help them. If you don't feel it's right, if it really bothers you, it's just situational, but, it just, good advice to be like, well, if you're not happy with it, don't like blame the person. In this situation, don't blame the person. I mean, sometimes people, they don't do it because they know it, or sometimes they do, but you have a choice to make. Like, do you want us to help this person, or do you want to back off and let them do their own thing? And if they still expect that from you, then you have to put your boundaries up. And it's just because you didn't do it in the beginning because you thought things would be different, then it can change. It's just situational as always, and you just need to see life as something that is constantly changing, and there's constantly new things to learn. So once again, not feeling like you know it all shows compassion to yourself and others, especially to yourself, because if you're not willing to learn more, or you roll your eyes because you think you know it all, then you're not letting yourself gain wisdom in return for knowledge, because knowledge is well and good, but wisdom can pull you through even when you don't have knowledge. It can bring through things that you didn't even think you know. Just having a knowing, but it's more than that. It's just something that comes from the divine, and it comes from you because you're a part of the divine. So it's just important to show compassion in different ways, and it can be in other ways as well, but we'll be here forever if we go through every little thing. But I feel like that is good, and that is is helpful, and I thank Archangel Zadkiel for being in all of our lives, because you're hearing this message, and if you wish for him to be in your life and help you, or any other archangel, they are all there for you. And any other energy that is good for you, that is holy, is also there for you. So it's just important to know you're not alone, and that there are people you can talk to, whether you just find help within like a therapist, or people that are your friends, or people that you make friends with. I mean, there is help in somehow the least likely places sometimes, but you just have to keep going and help yourself as much as possible, even when it seems unfair that you keep on helping yourself and doing all these wonderful things, and yet sometimes it doesn't always work out. But you keep going, because if you give up, you'll never know if you find something that's actually the solution to your problem, or you won't learn the things, the mysteries of things. Like, maybe you won't learn all of it, and you'll learn something, and then you'll have another question about it as well, and then you keep going and you find out more, but you have more questions. But it keeps going like that. You're never going to know everything. And if you feel like you know everything, then that's, at least for me, it's a problem. But, I think we probably know people like that seems to just want to act like they know it all. And sometimes it just comes from a place of not, true arrogance, where they really feel like they know it all. It just comes from, they know themselves to, and being able to sometimes it's like, they speak up a lot, and maybe just in front of a small group, they come and say, well, they sound really confident, like they know it all, but they turn out to be a person that it's like, oh, but I don't know it all, but I am very confident on what I'm talking about. So it seems like I'm acting like I know it all. There's sometimes it's situations like that, but so just like, don't jump to conclusions, but it's difficult, because you don't want to look at the just the vain side of things. Very simple. Sometimes you need to keep it simple, but other times you need to stop yourself from reacting negatively, or in unhelpful way, and instead let time decide, let there be proof that that's the kind of person. Alright, so, I don't know, my camera turned off for a little bit, but, you know, I was ending it off anyways. You know, thank you once again for watching this video, and I will see you guys again very soon. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the yearly reading. We'll see if it feels right. So I will talk to you again very soon. So, bye.